Hello, initiate. There is a pattern that repeats endlessly. A pattern so common that people mistake it for logic. They wait until they feel safe, until the narrative is clear, until the outcome feels predictable, until the risk appears reduced. And that is precisely when they enter. Too late. Not late in calendar time, late in structure. Because safety does not appear at the beginning of a transition. It appears after the advantage has already been absorbed. The majority believes safety comes from clarity. Initiated ones know clarity usually arrives after opportunity has vanished. Look closely at how most people move. They don't enter when uncertainty is high. They enter when uncertainty feels resolved. When headlines align, when explanations sound clean, when consensus forms. But consensus is not a signal of safety. It is a signal of saturation. By the time everyone agrees, the system has already adjusted. Prices adjust, rules adjust, access adjusts. What was once open becomes crowded. What was once flexible becomes rigid, and what was once calm becomes emotional. This is where the majority mistakes motion for progress. They finally act. They finally decide. They finally commit. But they are no longer choosing freely. They are responding to pressure. Pressure created by others who moved earlier. Initiated ones understand something uncomfortable. Safety is not found in certainty. It is found in optionality. Optionality exists when you can enter quietly, when nothing forces your hand, when no one expects you to act. That's when you still have room to think. Once urgency arrives, thinking disappears. People stop asking, "Is this coherent?" and start asking, "What if I miss it?" Fear replaces analysis. Momentum replaces intention. And that's how people enter systems already compromised. The initiated do the opposite. They enter when nothing is guaranteed, when outcomes are unclear, when the future feels abstract, not because they enjoy risk, but because they understand asymmetry. Small downside, open upside, minimal dependency. They don't need certainty, they need survivability. Because survivability allows time to do its work. The majority wants confirmation before participation. Initiated ones know confirmation comes after commitment. You don't understand a system by watching it. You understand it by interacting with it, even minimally, even imperfectly. This is why the first step must be small, not symbolic, not dramatic, small enough to be repeatable, small enough to survive mistakes. Large steps require confidence. Small steps create confidence. And confidence built through repetition is far more stable than confidence built through belief. Most people think they are late because they missed the perfect moment. They didn't. They missed the quiet moment. The moment when nothing pushed them. When no one talked about it constantly. When the decision felt optional. That was the entry. That was the window. But it didn't look important enough. Initiated ones recognize these windows instinctively. They don't ask, "Is everyone doing this?" They ask, "Can I start without stress?" If the answer is yes, they move. Because movement without stress is how long-term positioning begins. Not through bold bets, not through dramatic shifts, but through calm alignment. The majority waits for permission. Initiated ones understand permission is never granted in advance. It is earned through position. Once you are positioned, everything becomes clearer. The noise fades. The panic feels distant. The system becomes legible. That's why those who entered early appear calm later. Not because they are smarter, but because they are already inside. And inside, the rules feel different. There is no rush. No pressure, no urgency, only continuation. This is the part most people misunderstand. They think early entry is about profit. It's not. It's about freedom of decision, the freedom to wait, the freedom to adjust, the freedom to observe without fear. That freedom disappears the moment urgency arrives. By then, choices narrow. Emotions spike. Mistakes multiply. Initiated ones don't wait for safety. They create it by entering when the cost of being wrong is still low. That is how advantage is built. Quietly, gradually, irreversibly. Meanwhile, start with a Satoshi.